yeah, I mean, Clancy was always like, you're not gonna look, you're not, I mean, the nurse was like, look, get in there, dive in.
Hi guys, and welcome back to the vlog. That feels so good to say after taking my little maternity leave. I mean, it wasn't a little maternity leave. I think I was off YouTube for a month and a half, which is the longest I had ever been off. Like seriously, I mean, in high school, I was like, I'd pop on one day and then be back 3 months later. But since I started doing YouTube for real, like 4 or 5 years ago, I've never taken that long of a break. But it feels good to be back, and I've actually never filmed in this little setup before. Figured we could switch things up a bit. And I am so grateful, by the way, for this little nook in our bedroom. It was just like a few weeks before I gave birth that I randomly decided to spruce things up. This has just been like an eyesore in our bedroom. Didn't know what to do with it. I just threw a couch like against the window. Didn't look good. But then I decided, you know what? Like, let's just go for it. And thank goodness, because this has been the best breastfeeding area ever. I always thought like, oh, you know, breastfeeding in the middle of the night, I'll just pick the baby up and just probably do it in the bed or maybe go up to the nursery. But first of all, no to doing it in the bed. Like I thought, and maybe everyone's experience is different, but I thought like, oh, breastfeeding, you just take the baby, put him up, no big deal. No, I need to like get in an optimal position. I have to like use pillows and like latch him on. Like it's not as easy as I thought it was. Definitely not at all. I could talk more about that journey if you guys want. But being able to just walk a few steps over is just so unbelievably nice. So I am so grateful for that. I am not grateful for the bill I just received. I mean, I am grateful. I'm glad everything went smoothly, but I just paid my labor and delivery bill, which I was so curious how much it would cost, because if you Google it, it's different for everyone just based on your insurance and how good your insurance is. It was a steep bill. It was $1,400, and then I also just paid a $686 bill. I think that was like for my OB appointments maybe. So definitely a little bit up there. It's all good. Obviously, I budgeted for and accounted for this expense. And you guys know I've been using the Rocket Money app for, I was about to say the past few months. This has been years at this point. The best app ever for just having all of your finances in one place and really just like taking it to the next level, whether you want to save money or focus on cutting out areas where you are spending way too much. I am getting to work with them on this video, and I'm going to have a link below, rocketmoney.com/Clancy, where you can try the app for free. And get this, Rocket Money customers save up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features. And the one feature that is just like genius and so helpful, I always tell everyone, when you download the app, this should be the first thing you do. Obviously, you plug in all of your information, and then it'll show you all of the subscriptions you have, like the monthly subscriptions. There are probably subscriptions that you don't even realize that you are paying for every single month. Or maybe there are some, and like for me, breaking news, guys, I decided to cancel my facial membership. I had been doing that for like the past 2 years. It's something that I always felt secretly guilty about, like just every month getting a facial. I don't know, but I decided when I was looking at the budget tool in the app, trying to just figure out where I wanted to save money, it just made so much sense for me to, for now, cancel my facial membership. But that's why I love the app so much. Like, you can visualize it and see it, and it just makes it so much more easy, because I am not the type of person who, you know, I wasn't like a finance major in college. I'm not a Google spreadsheet kind of girl. Those really overwhelm me. But Rocket Money just makes it so much easier. Oh, and another cool feature, if you guys download the app, you can upload a bill into the app, for example, like a phone bill or internet, cable, whatever it might be, and Rocket Money can help negotiate those bills down. Like, you don't need to be on the phone with customer service. Rocket Money does it for you, and same with the canceling of the subscriptions. Just with a couple of taps, the work is done for you. So I will have that link below, especially with now having a baby in the mix. It is so helpful for me.
I still haven't worn any pants except sweats since giving birth, but honestly, like, why? Why would I subject myself to wearing jeans or even leggings when I don't have to? And honestly, should I even admit this, I still haven't gone anywhere except for the doctor, my doctor, and his doctor, and the gas station since giving birth.
That is obviously not great. Definitely not great mentally for me, probably, but with breastfeeding, I just don't know where you find the time. Like, he needs to eat, like, it feels like every hour. Like, seriously, like, he is a very hungry little guy, and I see people on social media who are breastfeeding and pumping and everything, and they're out and about living their lives, and it's just like, it just does not feel possible right now. But I think like I really want to try venturing out this week, even if it's something as simple as like going to a coffee shop or something. Like I'm trying to not bring him out with me right now. He doesn't have his vaccines yet. We're obviously trying to like protect him right now, and not bring him into public places. But maybe this week I'll try venturing out, because this is getting so ridiculous. And I know it is possible because I see it being done. I see other people doing it. I just don't know why it feels so impossible for me. But the other part of it is I feel like I have, oh my gosh, as we speak, okay, it is time to either feed him or pump. As we speak, oh, this is something that happens like when it's time, when I guess like my milk comes in every couple of hours. It's like, it's not like anything that painful, but it's like it's just a very uncomfortable feeling, I will say. Life. It's currently evening. I am breastfeeding. I obviously cannot show you guys, but we decided to, Zach, I was about to say we decided to order in tonight. We order in every night these days. Asher, no, get away, get away.
He's gonna do it.
I know, I'm like so vulnerable when I'm breastfeeding. Like I don't have enough like arms to defend my food, but is this like our personality now?
It's, I don't like to cook anymore.
Did you ever?
You say that. How have I eaten for the last 6 years that we've known each other? You don't cook?
Oh, he's getting defensive. I'm not saying you never cooked. I'm saying, did you ever like to cook?
No, who likes to cook?
Not us, that's for sure. Honestly, like, at the end of a long day of feeding our baby and everything, which, by the way, can I just say, I am more hungry right now than I've ever been in my entire... Oh, well, never mind. I cannot film because of the nursing situation, but I am so hungry with breastfeeding. This is a chicken fajita wrap, sweet potato fries. What else? Right now, it is 3:55 in the morning. We just finished our third feeding of the night. Asher has come to help. He's my little helper. And I just want to say, there's no worse feeling than when you put your baby down and you know he's not going down. Like, I just put him down and he's like talking to himself. And I mean, obviously he's not talking yet, okay? My baby's not like a prodigy. But you know, like doing the babbling thing, and I just know it's not gonna stick, if you know what I mean. But I need to go let Asher out right now. That seems to be a routine these days, that like on the second or third feeding, I let this little guy out. I have to say though, I thought I was going to be way more sleep deprived during this phase. I mean, there was a time, I would say it was like probably the first week of his life, maybe the first week or two, it got to be like where I was getting like 2 or 3 hours of sleep a night. But I really, really, really do think it's my TV news reporting days when I was so sleep deprived that prepared me so much for this. Like, I barely even felt it. And if anything, I was more tired when I was just reporting, whatever. Because like, I didn't like it. You know what I mean? Like, I was getting up and having to like go out in 20-degree weather and report on tragedies, and it's like, I'm tired. Like, that wasn't a good situation. Whereas this, I'm tired, but it's because I'm taking care of my baby, like the love of my life. So it honestly hasn't bothered me that much, knock on wood. Like, I'm really hoping he can let me sleep at least another like 2 hours. That would be phenomenal. All right, so it's 3:59. You can't even see that. I don't know what is wrong, but crossing our fingers, we can get to like 6 a.m. That would be phenomenal. I just had to update you guys that right now it is 6:42. Decker got me up at 5:57. So this is like an accurate representation for each feeding. It normally takes, well, never mind, there's no normal. Sometimes he feeds for like 45 minutes in the middle of the night, but during what is hopefully our last feeding of the night, I'm going to try to go back to bed for however long he'll let me. I normally pump, so I just pumped, I don't know how many ounces this will be, maybe like 2 to 4.5 ounces, which his feedings are normally somewhere around 3 to 4. Sometimes, I don't know. It's really hard to tell when you're breastfeeding how much your baby is getting, which is the one con of breastfeeding. And I will say another con of breastfeeding is I've read that formula is harder for babies to digest, so they're normally full longer and sleep better at night, possibly. I mean, every baby's different, obviously, but that would be very magical if he could sleep more at night. But I know that this is just a phase, and one day I will sleep again. Cheers. All right, good morning okay, it's not even morning. I just realized what time is it. It feels like morning. It's almost 1 p.m. But I just wanted to show you guys, this is my life. Me sitting on this couch, breastfeeding, which obviously you can't see. He is alive under there. And having people bring me things, because yesterday Zach brought me dinner on this couch I showed. My mom's holding the camera, and now my mom brought me iced coffee. So makes the process a little more enjoyable. My order these days is an iced caramel macchiato, and I know you're not supposed to drink a lot of caffeine with breastfeeding. Like, I think, I don't know, 200 or 300 milligrams max a day is recommended. Same with being pregnant, but I didn't drink coffee when I was pregnant, and so now I'm going a little crazy. I mean, not crazy, it's just I really enjoy having a coffee a day. And I normally wasn't even a huge coffee person. I was all about the tea, but this is what happens when you deprive yourself of something. You go a little bit crazy. And today is Sunday. The Bengals game is about to start. Zach is actually there, which I'm really happy about, because at least one of us should probably like get out of the house and do things. So it's nice. It's a beautiful day outside, as you can probably tell. We've just been having like the most beautiful fall days. I'm extremely nervous though for the clocks to turn. It's always obviously like never the best, but I feel like especially with life these days, how I'm just in the house a lot and I have the baby, the sun setting around like 5:30 is probably going to be not the best. Because one thing that I'd heard of that is very true, it's called the sunset scaries, where it's just because evening and nighttime tend to be, for not everyone, but this definitely has been the case for us, a little bit tougher. For us, Decker just loves to cluster feed all evening long, and then into the nighttime, you just don't know what's going to happen. Like, is he going to be up all night? Is he going to go down easily? There have been nights we've tried to put him down, and it's taken over 3 hours. So once the sun sets, you just have like you're just on edge a little bit, and just not knowing like what the heck are the next several hours going to hold. Because especially like I can do anything, right? Like I'll do anything for him. What has been so tough though is when he wants to feed all night, like I'm talking into like midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., it's staying awake. Like literally, like I physically like pull my eyes open sometimes because I am struggling so hard to stay awake. And one of the most dangerous things ever could be like if you're with your baby and you fall asleep, and yeah, that's just very dangerous. But so yeah, the whole sunset scaries thing is a thing, and now I feel like it's going to hit a lot earlier, because it really is like once you notice like the sun going down is when you're like, oh shoot, like it's getting real, like what the heck is this evening going to hold? And so I am just really not looking forward to the sun setting earlier. But honestly, I'm trying to like reframe it, and we're just gonna get cozy vibes, and the whole clock switching and everything, it just means cozy vibes are gonna happen way earlier in this household, meaning I'm gonna put on the fireplace, I'm gonna get like the mood lighting, and like we're just gonna lean into it and actually enjoy it. Like I wanna reframe my mindset. We're gonna get plenty of sun during the day. It's gonna be fine. This is me giving myself a pep talk right now.
Try not to hold me down, feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at these beautiful stars, I wanna drive a faster car.
Zach's back from his big Bengals game. It wasn't the results we would have wanted, that was for sure. It was like leaving the stadium like sad. And then, for whatever reason, my microphone cut off during this segment, which is so annoying. It happens from time to time. I don't know why. I'm going to have to try to find another microphone or something. But we were just chatting about the game, playing with Asher a little bit, the huge. And then I decided we were going to have a segment where Zach gives his thoughts on childbirth. Because at this point, you know, he was there. He's a pro. He has seen it all, whether that is a good thing or a bad thing. We're having a brief bottle warming intermission because our one son needs more attention and our other son needs more milk. Sit. Around. Feeding one son first. Thank you very much. And feeding our other son as well.
Chilled.
Zach sings little jingles to him all the time.
I'm telling him it would be cool if he chilled.
We'll do the jingle.
Said it would be cool if he chilled.
And then do the no cry zones jingle.
I mean, I just tell him there's no cry zone.
Yeah, but you sing it.
I don't even know. I don't even know what I say. I have to be in like the mood. It's like, this is a no cry. Yeah.
What is it?
It's not common.
Back to the segment of all segments, Zach's thoughts on childbirth. Because going into it, we had a very strict, we were both on the same page. Zach isn't going to be looking at anything. He's just going to stay up by my head. No big deal. And everything like was thrown out the window pretty much immediately.
Our hospital experience was an A. Like A+ almost, maybe. Like, our whole experience was good. Besides one thing. We only had one nurse in there for, I would say, 80% of the time. So I did not anticipate. And I mean, I'm a capable person. I can stand up and like hold your leg and do all that. But I didn't anticipate being the person doing all of that. So I was a lot more in the action than we thought I was going to be, which is fine because I can obviously do that. I can help you. I can do it and all that. But it was just a lot more action than I was thinking. Yeah, I mean, Clancy was always like, you're not going to look and you're not, I mean, it was me and the one nurse. The nurse was like, look down, look at
Yeah, she brought out a mirror.
Yeah, she's like, get in there, dive in. Holistically, everything was good. I mean, I thought we were going to be in the hospital for days. Like,
Exactly.
we were in the hospital for days, but I thought waiting for the birth.
Because of an induction.
Yeah, I didn't think Clancy was as far along as, like, it would be, like, ready in, like, 24 hours. So, I mean, that's just what I was prepped for, just because I had heard people doing that. So, I had that in my head. And, I mean, we went in at, like, midnight. Everything went scheduled fine and whatnot. And, I mean, that was just the biggest shock. So, I mean, but I got to be in the action. I got to see the little guy's head at all stages of...
Wait, did you see his head when it was, like, out? Because obviously, so basically, his head got stuck for hours. Like, his head, the top of his head was there for the whole time. Like,
Yeah,
literally,
I mean, you
like...
could see it right away. I mean, Clancy was pushing to start for 2 hours. And then she took a break. But yeah, his head was there the whole time. But then I was on the... And then out of nowhere, we had like 8 nurses and the doctor come in the room all at once. And then I was on the opposite side. So I wasn't at a... My point of view was not directly at it. So I was behind you. So when his head actually came out, I saw it come out like halfway. And they're like, oh, here it is. Push.
No.
And then but it wasn't like the best point of view. Again, if you're trying to see all the action...
Zach's like, I didn't get a good view.
I mean, I was fine with the view I had.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm not a big, I don't know, like...
Blood.
Healthcare, blood, shots type person. Like, I can get shots, like, it's fine. But, like, could never administer someone. That would gross me out, like...
Yeah.
Just that, like, the bodily stuff kind of freaks me out. So I wasn't sure how I'd feel with the childbirth stuff. And I mean, in my head, I was a little nervous about that. Not that I would get faint, more that I would just like almost get queasy. But I was fine with it all, which is, thank goodness.
What were your thoughts though, like when I was pushing for so long and there was like no progress and no end in sight and it was like such a bad situation?
No, I mean, I think it was probably more that was your mindset because it sucked, obviously, trying to push. But in my point of view, it was never that bad, like, that there was no progress just because the nurses were saying, like, oh, it's happening, oh, everything's happening. Like, everything happened normal. His head was just big, so you had to push a little bit longer than maybe you would have. So, like, I never thought, like, anything was, like, scary. I mean, honestly, it was about as cookie cutter of a situation as it could be, other than he had a big old noggin, so Clancy probably had an extra hour, 30 minutes to an hour tacked onto her pushing, than she probably would have preferred.
It was just the worst feeling to be like, I'm not making any progress and I don't even know, like, how to push. It's, like...
Yeah.
Such a weird feeling. You were helpful, though, with your, like, encouragement and all that.
Baby's out and healthy, so that's all we can ask for from the hospital, from your efforts, from...
My efforts.
Decker's efforts.
Thanks for your efforts, Clancy.
So it was interesting, that's for sure.
Did you happen to see all the blood at the end, or no?
I mean, I saw... Yeah.
That's what, you know how I went into, like, a slight, like, weirdness, like, shock?
Yeah, I'm sure.
It was because I looked up, and there was a huge mirror up there, and that's when I saw our doctor covered in blood, and, like, I just was like, what?
Well, yeah, you can, like, tell at one point, like, they all start, like, moving quickly with urgency, and, like, you can tell, like, that's what's going on, like, the blood and... the guts, and then I cut the umbilical cord.
Yeah,
like,
Zach, there were guts.
Everything's going
there were
everywhere.
No guts, everyone. If there were guts, I think we'd be having problems.
I mean, you see the umbilical cord flopping around, and it looks like guts.
When you found out he was a blondie, what were you thinking? paternity test. Because we could see the head for a while, so our nurse was like, oh my gosh.
Blonde hair and blue eyes. That's doesn't sound like either of us, so.
Zach, I have blue eyes. What are you talking about?
Not sure who the father is in the sitch, but that's a problem for a later date.
Yeah, you just don't even care. For the record, everyone, I had light hair as a kid, too. He's not going to be blonde. It's just I had light hair as well. So.
Don't pigeonhole yourself. He could be a blonde.
Today's the day, guys. I am finally leaving the house and going somewhere. Because I've obviously left the house, like, you know, to go on walks around the neighborhood. But I am specifically going to a location that is not my home. And this is like, this is crazy. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm starting to get a little bit nervous that I am never gonna leave the house again because it didn't happen. And I woke up this morning like, it's happening. Like, today's the day. Like, there wasn't a doubt in my mind. Like, of course, like, we are making this work. My plan was, Zach got off from work today. We were going to, this is like in my ideal world, pick up some sandwiches at the deli, head to the park, eat on the picnic benches. Then we were going to go for a long walk. And like, it was going to be great to get out and about and see humans. Would have been nice. It just didn't happen. Like, it's just so hard because Decker's hungry. We feed him for 40 minutes. Like, these feedings, and this is what I'm thinking, like, people have told me the feedings aren't as long as they grow. They become more efficient at them. So feed him for 40 minutes. Oh my gosh, this is great. He has a blowout in his diaper. Change the diaper, do the laundry, do this, do that. By the time all that's done, we're about to head out the door. He's crying again for more milk, more food. So then feed him again. And like, it just was getting to be so late where we realized like, it's just not going to happen. I will say we went for a 3-mile walk in the neighborhood. So like, I am getting out and about, which is really nice. I just am craving like, humanity. Like seeing humans, you know? Like, obviously I see people on our walks, and actually it's been nice. I've run into some neighbors I hadn't seen in a while, but it's definitely different, like, you know, actually getting out of the neighborhood. Like, I'm very like curious about what life is like outside of outside of these walls and then outside of the neighborhood. But it is going to happen. It just didn't happen today, and that's okay. And one of the reasons that we decided to throw in the towel with actually going out and getting lunch, our friends are coming over tonight for dinner, to see Decker, to meet him, which is really nice. So that's the thing, like, a lot of people have been coming over. But mark my words, this next coming week, it's happening. Like, I don't care if I just go to Target and I walk around I just do one lap. I mean, that sounds magical, actually. If I just do one lap, like, we're doing it. So stay tuned to see if Clancy leaves her house. If that ends up happening, I'm going to do everything in my power to make it happen. But I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. I feel like the vlogs are just so all over the place these days. Like, I don't even know what I record, and it's definitely not aesthetic at all, but it's obviously just where I am in life right now, and that's okay. And oh my goodness, Decker is crying, so I gotta go. But I love you guys. Thank you for sticking with me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.